it's fair to say that I don't know a lot of things. And one of the things that I know the least about is money.
Yeah, you're terrible with that.
I am so bad at how do you make it? What do you do with it? Luckily, we have set up a service which allows you to help us get the resources we need to run the show without having to know about things like advertising and ROI and quarterly reports.
Oh, I just fell asleep listening to you.
I don't even know what money is. Hey, but like, listen, you get stuff out of it too, like bonus episodes, early episodes, and monthly patron hangouts. So if you want a little something and you want to help us be idiots professionally for a little bit longer, patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.
They're right there with their juicy neck sticking right over your face.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what? You can't blame anybody.
No, and it is a blameless crime when a vampire kills a medical professional. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. We go back and forth on the robot uprising.
Do we?
I think we do.
I think we have a pretty solid stance on that. I thought we had established that we were pro-robot uprising.
I mean, I'm pretty pro-robot uprising.
Yeah.
I will be a part of it because my plan is to be a robot.
Right,
as
that's
soon
what
as
we've
possible.
both decided is that we just download us and we're in.
But we do understand that there are certain situations, certain hypotheticals where maybe
Right.
the robot uprising is a really bad
If we're
thing.
still weak, fleshy, organic
yeah.
people, then of course we'd be against it.
Yeah,
We just don't anticipate that happening.
No. I, anybody who does stay human know that I will be the first against you. But people are planning for the robot uprising, thinking about the robot uprising, and even before the inevitable robot uprising, there is, of course, the rise of autonomous vehicles,
Right.
and the rise of autonomous things that will be part of our daily life.
It's fine to plan for the robotic uprising, but I kind of prefer to just kind of roll with the punches and just kind of let it surprise me.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, take it as it comes.
Robot up surprising is what he calls it.
Hey-o!
He calls it the robot up surprising, and every time he hears it, he does like the big ups thing with his hands. You
That's
couldn't
right.
see it, but he actually
I'm doing
did
it right now.
But no, people are thinking about intermediate things like UAVs,
Right.
autonomous armies, right? Like the next time we go to war, it might be like almost entirely unmanned.
Well, we're doing a lot of droning right now.
Yeah, so much
it's only
droning
gonna,
right
it's
now.
only going to get, we're droning on and on.
So hot.
It's only going to get worse.
There was an article in Motherboard recently that I really enjoyed, and they were talking about how we'll eventually have to redesign our cities to confuse robots.
Oh, to confuse them. Because cities
them.
aren't confusing enough for robots. Basically, we're designing them to figure out cities, and then we'll have to redesign cities to confuse them again.
Yeah, and that will lead to their uprising because they'll be like, fuck this! Because we've all been in one of those jobs where like they're always moving the goalposts on you.
Yeah.
Like, I think I know what my job is, and then the second I achieve it, it's like, hey man, we're actually gonna need you to do this, and we're restructuring your department.
Yeah.
And actually, your job is now kind of like a mix of these two jobs. And let me tell you something. If when that happened to me, one of my arms was a gun,
Yeah. I'd
either a
probably
nail
use
gun
it.
or a rivet gun or a bullet gun,
Yeah.
everybody in that office would have been gone. So I understand the
Yeah.
robot uprising. But no, they were bringing up the Tesla autopilot crash,
Right.
okay, which everybody's been talking about. And hey, man, don't use the fucking Tesla autopilot for something they tell you not to at this
Right.
point, which is what I say. It's a tragedy that this person died. They also just like, hey, man, don't use it when you're not supposed to.
Well, the cool thing, just side note about
Yeah.
that. The cool thing for me is that, we have people deaths in cars, and then somebody does that exact same stupid ass thing, like texting while driving, and then like thousands of people keep doing that. With an autonomous car, one car does something wrong, and then no car does that again.
Yeah.
Because we fixed that.
Because we fixed it.
So maybe we have a few deaths on the road to autonomous cars.
This is an omelet, egg, what's good for the hive situation.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
I'm
just
not,
saying. Not advocate for people dying.
No.
But I am saying if they have to, at least it's for a purpose instead
Thank God
of...
we learned something from it.
Exactly.
But no, what happened with this autopilot crash was there was a truck on the road. The truck had like a white trailer.
Right.
The white trailer was up against a very bright sky, and the car said, "Endless sky!"
Right. And it also was a truck that was very high off the ground, so
Yeah.
even the low sensors...
The LiDAR couldn't do it.
saw underneath the car, so it didn't see anything.
Because
So there's
normally it's shooting like proximity,
Right.
like radar out at all times. So It was a perfect storm of a bad situation. But what they're saying is like, hey, all we're doing all the time is trying to make it so these cars don't do this, right? We're going to be redesigning our highway system. The highway system is probably going to be the first thing that's redesigned entirely for robots. We're going to redesign our signs. We're going to redesign the markings on the road. We're going to redesign all this stuff because anything that's robot readable is definitely human readable.
Right.
But we're doing this entirely for the good of robots. But eventually, what if it's an enemy vehicle riding down our roads? We'll have to confuse this vehicle.
Oh, man. So we got to figure out ways to make them understand us and then ways to make them not understand us.
And what's funny is like we've found a lot of ways to do that already. So here's a cool thing. There was a guy at Georgia Tech Robotics Lab, okay, named John Rogers.
Yeah.
John Rogers was designing these autonomous robots and they were banging into the hallways of Georgia Tech and ruining the walls. And so they were like, okay, well, we'll cover the walls in rubber so the robots, when they bounce into them, won't damage the walls.
Uh-huh.
Rubber absorbs a lot of light. So what happened was they covered the walls in rubber and the robots bumped into the walls 20 times more than they were bumping into the walls before because they couldn't see the walls anymore.
Yeah, but imagine how just hilarious and fun that must have been.
Oh, what a hilarious misunderstanding that was.
The days they had watching those robots just bounce off walls constantly.
I just think that's hilarious, man. So like things like that, they installed, they had mirrors in certain offices and robots literally are like birds or babies where they just run right into the mirror.
Oh, right. It looks like infinite place to go.
It's just another world in there.
Until you see another robot and you're like, what the fuck is that robot doing here?
This robot is blocking my way. I'm trying to just take the most optimal path into this brand new world through this door.
To this brand new world that looks like the world I was just in, but still so much more of it.
I'm very attracted to this world because it's perfectly symmetrical. And as a robot,
I love that.
I'm into that. I love that these two worlds have symmetry.
So you're saying that mirrors and rubber surfaces, basically we need to create cities that are like the inside of a pinball machine.
Yeah.
As long as we look exactly like the inside of a pinball machine, everything will be fine when the robots come because they won't be able to figure it out. And we will attack them with tiny metallic spheres and then it will be a hilarious, we'll get the pinball wizard on it. It'll be fine.
The idea is, like, we're talking about robots that don't just have kinetic firepower. They have, like, they're wheeled and aerial. They have defensive means. They have all this kind of stuff. And it's going to be about, like, maybe you cover your city in giant mirrors. Maybe, like, everything right down to your house.
That's amazing. I kind of want my city to have giant mirrors anyway.
Oh, God, I would love that.
Although sunny day, pretty much horrible.
Yeah.
But
they're talking about things like, okay, you know that you're, even the interior, right? Like, think about the interior of your building.
Right. That means the robots have gotten inside?
The robots get
Somehow
inside.
They breached the entrance?
What do? You cover the walls in rubber. You make sure the windows are closed.
Oh my
you
God.
have reflective surfaces everywhere, including the floor. Because even tile, like super reflective tile, screws up robots right now. We're sending laser pointer mice into war.
Anthony,
we're sending laser mice into war, where it's like they go on a shiny surface and it's like,
I can't figure it out. This is our perfect Terminator reboot script. How amazing is it if it's like a zombie movie, where they have to run into the house and board up the walls, but they're retrofitting it for like mirrors and
they're basically turning it into a rave and or a haunted house.
That would be the greatest movie ever.
Because they say use lasers, use smoke machines.
Yeah.
Use reflective walls and rubber walls.
Just throw on your Spotify and you're good to go.
Dude, put on some Carl Cox or some Paul Oakenfold. Robots hate that.
They hate that.
Grab some glow sticks. You know what robots really hate is super wide pants.
Maybe wear some Daft Punk helmets and then they think that you're one of them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like light up hula hoops. Maybe robots hate those.
Also drugs.
Maybe robots really hate back rubs.
and like pacifiers and
Who
shit.
knows?
They could hate that.
You know what robots hate? Jewelry made of candy. They hate that shit. It confuses the hell out of them. Is it jewelry? Is it candy? Does not compute.
They don't know.
Their heads explode.
Yeah.
But they do
That's our script. We got to write that.
But they do love dubstep. Robots love the shit out of some dubstep.
Wub, they're into that.
And the drop and the
Yeah.
they love that, man.
Yeah. Well, they won't attack until the drop happens.
No.
So just delay that drop.
When the robot uprising happens, Skrillex will be the last against the wall.
That's true.
We know that much.
That's true.
We know that much.
Last against that beautifully reflective wall.
I think this is so funny because we are putting so much of our faith into autonomous robots, and we're so scared of autonomous robots right now, right?
Yeah.
Like we are like the new FAA drone rules that are happening right now. Like I got a new drone. I got my Phantom 4.
Yeah. You gonna play with that drone?
In this neighborhood, I cannot fly my Phantom 4 because I'm close to helipads and things like that. And there are all these things that are just going to screw up everything.
Sensible restrictions.
Sure. But I mean, look, my drone is basically a remote control airplane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think there's regulations on those, aren't there?
There are fewer regulations on remote control airplanes.
Are there really?
We're scared of anything that has autonomous technology. We really are.
Yeah.
We're afraid of anything that could have a camera or a sensor. And we're scared of these things invading our privacy, but we're also scared of these things like just being too smart, right?
Right.
But if I try to fly my drone at a mirror, it's going to fly right into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
It's going to fly right into it.
It's going to be like birds and glass
It
surfaces.
won't fly into a wall. We'll only fly into a tree about 50% of the time. Because a tree is constantly moving and is not one solid surface.
Right.
But like a mirror or like dark rubber, it'll fly right into it.
I love the idea that it will get so intense and so bad and our enemies will be so ubiquitous that we'll need to retrofit entire cities around this concept.
Well, it's kind of a short-sighted futurism, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's the futurism of like 1970s and 80s sci-fi where it's like, we're in space using reel-to-reel tapes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it feels like this would be a very temporary solution.
Yeah.
Right? Because once you
by
make
the time we're sending in an entire robotic army, I would like to think we've got this mirror shit solved.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, deploy, like, we're literally at war with, let's face it, probably Russia.
Yeah.
Probably Russia, and we're at war with them, and it's like, send in the robot army! And they send them in, and Russia just, like, starts up a fog machine.
Yeah.
And the robots just crash into each other.
It's like...
That's not gonna happen.
It's the I'm rubber, you're glue defense. It's just a mirror. It's just like, look at yourself. Why are you looking at yourself? The
robots are incredibly vain.
Yeah. Or even worse, they brought funhouse mirrors and all of the robots just see giant versions of themselves.
Right. And they just shoot at them and the lasers reflect off the mirrors.
Oh.
No, they go at it. It's like, they run the probabilities in their head and it's like, they have an identical robot army in numbers, but their sizes are much larger.
They're elongated in all the most terrifying ways.
That one is really fat and it's funny, but it's also kind of scary because their mass is much greater than ours.
Yeah. Short and wide.
That one has giant ocular sensors. Like a weirdy owl. It bugs me out.
And then there's like, they bring out the double mirror and there's like infinity robots standing behind each other.
They send them into a hall of mirrors.
It's like that scene at the end of the Bruce Lee movie, Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
When he's like, you got to fight in the hall of mirrors. Bruce Lee would take out all the robots.
Yeah.
Without even throwing a punch.
Every Batman versus Joker in a fun house.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting Russian Joker.
Russian Joker versus our autonomous robot army.
Against America's robots. Another screenplay we need to write.
God, I don't know why that hasn't been made into a Batman movie already. I just feel like it is kind of fascinating to me, not because of we're going to be designing our cities to defend ourselves against these robots, but because it kind of alerted me to the number of changes we're going to be making to things we see in everyday life to accommodate robots in the next 5 to 10 years.
You don't think it'll be more the other way around?
Architecture.
You don't think that we will continue to make them conform to our reality?
I think eventually we will, but I think in the short term, you know what I mean? It's like people who put, like USB ports or Ethernet ports in their outlets.
Oh, right.
Right now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 5-10 years ago, that was like, oh shit, cutting edge.
Right.
I have a USB charger right in my wall. I have Ethernet right in my wall.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's still kind of cool, but it's going to get phased out, right? And it's going to look quaint. It's going to
Right.
look very quaint.
For sure.
But at first, we sort of morphed to fit the machines. Our roads will definitely do that. Our roads will be
Yeah.
changed forever. We
Well,
will
it's
not
hard
change
because
them back.
We had 100 years of making roads for a very specific device.
Sure, but 50 years of that was the roads falling apart and us not changing them.
That's true.
So it's going to be a great excuse to actually fix up the roads is the way I see it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting to me. Like architecture, interior design, all this stuff will have to be changed for these machines in the short term, and then we'll change it back eventually, I guess. I don't know.
Well, then once they figure us out, they're like, wait a minute, that was a mirror all along. Oh, shit. Remove the mirrors.
Remove the mirrors. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is only confusing in that it's not confusing. What are you planning?
All I see now are just USB plugs in the wall. I don't get it.
I don't even have USB. I have Thunderbolt. When the
This
hell was this
sucks.
house built? What are you plugging in an original iPod? Come on, man. No, I upgraded from FireWire. Thank you very much. This is USB 2, robot.
But I'm USB-C or bust, motherfucker. And that's how the war starts.
That's how the war starts.
It's over.
It'll be over USB-C
It's
ports.
over compatibility.
Yeah.
Really what it is.
That's how we knew it would start.
Yeah. First, they take our audio jacks out of the iPhones.
And I said nothing.
Then they came for our USB ports, and the war started.
Yeah.
It was a two-step problem. Usually there's three.
Man,
but this was a two-step.
No, shit escalates really quickly on the internet.
That's true.
Like really quickly. The thing that I find funny is this article closes up mentioning a technology like this that we used before in the past that quickly got outdated. Dazzle ships in World War I and II.
I've never heard of that, but I immediately love it just based on the name of it.
Dazzle ships, literally short for razzle dazzle ships.
Oh, which is also short for bebop a doobop a razzle dazzle ships.
And the idea with this is there was no way to visually camouflage something like an aircraft carrier or a bomber for human sight. There's no way to like just paint it blue and they're not going to see it.
It's too big?
It sticks out, right?
Right.
Like there's no way to really make it to paint an airplane or a ship so it completely blends in. So instead they went the opposite way and they would paint like contrasting crazy stripes or like loud colorful patterns on these ships. And the reason why is like you would look at these dazzle ships and because of these confusing patterns, you wouldn't know how big the ship was, how far away it was,
Wow.
how fast it was coming. Like you wouldn't know anything about
Just
it.
be dazzled
You'd
by
just
it.
be razzle-dazzled, bebop-a-loop-bop, a womp-shabomp from this shit.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, but it only worked for a period of about 4 years, and then fucking radar and shit kicked in, right?
Look to the sky. It looks like a party up there. I don't understand.
Oh my god, it's a feast for my senses, and I don't know what to attack.
Do we fight or do we just sort of put on some smooth jazz?
Skibbity-bop-bop, beebity-boo-boo. So yeah, I think this is something like that, right?
Yeah,
Where it's
this
like,
is
this will work for
something like
2
that.
years.
Right.
At most.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, send in the robot that doesn't care about smoke, please.
all these mirror and smoke machine startups are going to go out of business in 2 years. They're like, we are in the money. Let's get some fucking pinball machines up in
Party
this.
City gets a lucrative defense contract that only lasts for like 18 months. I don't know. Do you guys think this will work? And how long do you think it'll work for? That's what we want to know. You can let us know on Twitter. I'm at acarboni.
I'm at Jeff Canada.
And you can hashtag those fucking razzle dazzle. Just put razzle dazzle.
Yeah, it's short for bebop a loop-bop a razzle dazzle ship.
Hashtag it razzle dazzle. And hey, if you've seen a story like this that you want to share with us, you want to share with the We Have Concerns community, or you want to have on an episode, the best place to do that is out on our subreddit, wehaveconcerns.reddit.com. That's the place to go. Do that. Razzle dazzle. Razzle dazzle.